I got to go. Hi, this is Brian Forster, and today we're exploring the Philae Temple of Isis. When arriving at the temple, your guide will almost certainly inform you that you've arrived in Philae, but this is not exactly true. You might find yourself staring at Philae Temple, but these days, the original two islands known collectively as Philae lie buried beneath the still waters of Lake Nasser, an inevitable consequence of the construction of the Aswan High Dam. When the original low dam in Aswan was constructed, the rising waters of Lake Nasser inundated the island on which the temple stood, along with much of the temple itself. Knowing that the temple would be completely lost as a result of the construction of the Aswan High Dam, a massive UNESCO project got underway, and the temple was moved to higher ground on nearby Gyges Island. This achievement in itself makes the area Hi, this is Brian Forster, and today we're exploring the Philae Temple of Isis. When arriving at the temple, your guide will almost certainly inform you that you've arrived in Philae, but this is not exactly true. You might find yourself staring at Philae Temple, but these days, the original two islands known collectively as Philae lie buried beneath the still waters of Lake Nasser, an inevitable consequence of the construction of the Aswan High Dam. When the original low dam in Aswan was constructed, the rising waters of Lake Nasser inundated the island on which the temple stood, along with much of the temple itself. Knowing that the temple would be completely lost as a result of the construction of the Aswan High Dam, a massive UNESCO project got underway, and the temple was moved to higher ground on nearby Gyges Island. This achievement in itself makes the area worth visiting. When you see the temple standing today, it really is mind-boggling to think that the entire complex was actually moved and then reconstructed. Having been completed in around 690 AD, Philae Temple is considered by many to be the last of the ancient temples constructed in the so-called classic Egyptian style. It is one of the many temples throughout Egypt that were built in honor of goddess Isis, and it serves as a remarkable example of the cult that was built around her story, and one which includes, of course, Osiris and Horus. In its prime, it was considered to be one of the most sacred of all temples by both the Egyptians and the Nubians. This was essentially because they believed that Osiris had in fact been buried on the island where the temple stood. Nobody other than priests were permitted to dwell there, and legend has it that no birds flew overhead, and that even fish and other aquatic animals never approached the shores of the island. While many visitors pay a visit to the site to explore the temple during daylight hours, many more also visit the site at night to see the Philae Temple Sound and Light Show. Construction began approximately around 690 BC, and it was one of the last outposts where the goddess was worshipped. The cult, or so-called cult of Isis, continued here until at least AD 550. So it went through the very late dynastic period, into the Ptolemaic Greco-Roman period, and even into the Christian era. It's not a huge temple, but it's very beautiful because of where it's located. And we include this in our tour, the next one being in March of
I was at 205 a few months ago.
Also visit
I'm doing like 1-2 reps bench press. But now I'm at 115. I'm gonna add two tens. I'm gonna go up to 135 today. Do less reps. I was doing 8 reps. Now I'm gonna do. Let's see how we do with 135.
Granite, which we saw in previous parts of this video, but it's just a very tranquil location, and again, well worth. Now this curious object is made out of Aswan granite, and it of course is a grinding wheel,
oh my gosh,
probably from the Roman time period, for grinding grains.
Thanks, man.
You can see the central hub there, and you can see the weathering on the interior surface where another stone would have rolled around in order to grind the grains. Again, very little megalithic presence at this location, but it's a very tranquil place to explore, and a very fine example of largely Ptolemaic period construction, mainly out of sandstone, which is relatively local to the area. The fact that it had to be moved from its original location, block by block, is an excellent example of modern engineering prowess. There you see the faces of dynastic and post-dynastic figures having been ground off or defaced by local people. And again, simply a beautiful location at Lake Nasser in southern Egypt. As previously stated, we're going to be returning to Egypt in March of 2020. And of course, we will be including this temple, as we always do. And here, this is probably the most intriguing and enigmatic aspect of the island, this ancient passageway. What its original function was, I'm not quite sure. But again, almost completely constructed out of sandstone, so no presence of major megalithic features, but a beautiful and tranquil location. Hi, this is Brian Forster, and this is the world-famous Giza Plateau. That is the city of Giza in the background.
Yeah, man, we're halfway through May already, dude. It's crazy.
There is the Great Pyramid. And the second pyramid. Now, when you get your general ticket to explore the Giza Plateau, you get access to the exterior of some of these structures. But today, such as the second pyramid, but today we got special permission at the cost of about $2,000 for our group. That's why our tours are special. To actually go 200 feet below the Giza Plateau, into the bedrock,
it's like a Lebanese cheese
and into what is called the Osiris Shaft. It's only been open to the public for about 2 years. Before that, it was sealed shut. It was only explored by senior academics, there are a number of massive shafts located in this area. Again, not really the area where the general public are allowed. If you do get special permission, which requires paperwork, you're allowed access to this, the Osiris shaft.
Time is at 2:20.
Located
It's going to be a
beneath the
fast
causeway
workout. It's going to be a really
that
fast
runs
workout.
up to the
Like
second
half an hour.
pyramid. Now, as you can see, it's locked, and here are the officials opening the Osiris shaft up for us. We have rented it for 2 hours, and here is Mo, our tour coordinator, supervising the whole thing. So you enter in sideways, and then the first level is 30 to 40 feet down. This very strong ladder, which thankfully has been put into place for those who have rented the Osiris shaft. So I got to go down first, and then here are our guests coming down after me to explore this amazing ancient megalithic work. Here I am at level 2.
What's up, Rev?
Level 2 is
We're eating the
another
cheese bun.
100 feet
Lebanese cheese
below
bun.
the surface.
It's like a salty cheese. So good.
140
What's up,
feet
man?
below the surface of
We're about to
Giza.
start. We're about to start. I swear.
And in here are 6 chambers with 2 boxes.
What's up with you, man?
Boxes are made of
Thanks for being there.
basalt, which is a stone not found in Egypt. This one is covered with this mysterious black
You're working out pretty fast.
which is presently being analyzed in a laboratory in Canada. So this is what these chambers look like. You can see tool marks that look like chisels, but they run parallel to one another. So probably machine marks would be the correct description of them. And the ceiling has this splat of the black goo right above one of the dayside boxes. And the black goo is presently being tested in Canada. Then inside another one of these chambers, you have a depression here which would fit a human-sized, probably wooden sarcophagus.
Going up to 135.
And finally, level 3, which is another 60 feet down, making it a total of approximately 200 feet below bedrock. And inside, you can see there's lots of water. It's actually quite crystal clear. Unfortunately, we only had one flashlight. When I go back on tour in March of 2020, I'm going to bring a much more powerful flashlight with me. But you see more detail in this pool. There is a 40 to 60 ton box underwater in this location. And in March of 2020, I'm going to go with shorts and walk around in the water and see what else I can find. You see the hook is put into place in order to lift the lid off the giant box during excavation.
Holy shit, Baron. What? Thanks, Baron.
I have
What?
cleaned out all of this garbage. I have
WWE
no
belt,
idea.
yeah.
So
Yo,
I come
thanks,
up,
Baron.
other members
Dude,
of our
thank you
group
so
are
much.
going
13
down to
fucking months
explore
during a workout stream,
level
too.
number
Yo,
3,
thanks, man.
200 plus
Thanks, homie.
feet below the surface of Giza. Now I'm up on level 1. It's quite a large chamber, as you can see. You can also see lots of tool marks. Again, parallel chisels for what they look like.
Oh, yeah.
Highly, highly unlikely that this was done by hand. And officials call it the symbolic tomb of Osiris.
Best there is.
Probably means that they
Best
have
there
no
was.
idea who
Best
made
there
it
ever will be.
or when it was made. Clearly, it's a pre-dynastic construction and had to have been done utilizing machinery. Great thing about Egypt is other ancient locations such as this are being open to the public, but but only by special permission and at a relatively high cost. See the Osiris shaft, I recommend join us in March of 2020. Now this is what the top part of the shaft looks like. This is the metal cover on the surface of Giza. And while the others are still exploring underground, I thought I would take a walk around the outside to give you an idea
buddy.
of what the Giza
I just need a
plateau
Canadian
looks
flag. I
like.
don't even know where it is. The American
That
flag's
is the
right here.
city of Giza,
I'm not hating on Canada, but I don't even know where it is.
separate from the city of
I think it's
Cairo.
downstairs. I gotta get it. What's up, man? Yo, thanks for the sub, dude.
Second pyramid,
It's gonna be a quick workout, man. I gotta
and the Great Pyramid.
I'm seeing the Doctor Strange movie with my girlfriend and her daughter today, so it's gonna be great.
And as stated before,
I'm excited.
there are
Doctor Strange is a cool character. I like the psychological ones. I like that. I like Silver Surfer too. I like the interesting. What's the word? Dilemma of someone always kind of being in control. Or you're always at the mercy of someone else or some shit. And some cycle, you just want to be free. Or it's crazy stuff, and being humble and shit. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. All right. I'm using the washer. We'll be back in there. I can talk more. Thanks, buddy. What's up, man?
Here I am.
I really appreciate, man, all the fucking 13 months, man. That's a lot of money, man. I really appreciate that, dude.
Sphinx, of course, is facing
Thanks,
the
man.
opposite
You're a
direction.
fucking dude.
And then walking my way back
Alright, I'll be back.
to the Osiris shaft once again. 2 hours are up, so the officials are back, and they are in the process of locking the Osiris shaft once again until the next group of visitors arrive and pay the $2,000 plus fee. Sounds like a lot of money, but it's well worth the experience. So the final touches, numerous locks being put back into place.
You know what? I am gonna make a coffee. Yo, thanks, Baron. You're the man, dude. Thanks, homie. Check this out. So this is not whey. Check it out. I took the time and I grinded. Oh, it's all organic coffee grinds, dude. Look at that. You see that? Oh my god. It smells so good.
Is one of the
Oh, it smells
temples
amazing.
in
Okay, I'm gonna make coffee.
If you are going to call it a temple, it was a spiritual powerhouse. City first called it the temple of the millions of years of the memory.
Three Sisters is the best.
The design of this place was never repeated in any other temple, as we have seen. Usually,
Sisters.
see the place designed as one straight line. We have the open courtyard, the colonnade, the
time,
inner
but I want
sanctum,
one.
or the holy of holies. And here we found 7 holy of
What's up,
holies,
man?
and then the temple
Sup?
turned left. It's an L
How you doing,
shape,
dude? Hope you're good.
and behind it is
Dude, I want to see the Sphinx in Philadelphia, man. The Flinders Peach we sent back, the granite Sphinx. Let's pull it up. Let's pull the fucking photo up.
in a much lower level, and one day it was surrounded
I don't
by
wanna do
water.
that. I don't wanna do that right now.
Exact the same design
I wanna see
of
that in Philadelphia, man.
temple in the Kefren, which we will see at Giza, probably the same age. They were built the same technology, the size of columns, everything.
Man, it smells so good. Like insanely good.
The temple dedicated mainly to God Osiris, the god of the underworld. Osiris was the first manifestation of God in their physical form. There was the realm of those Nethers, the first gods, who were living on the ground, and those gods who were born on earth like Isis, Osiris, Set, and Nephthys. Osiris represented the embodiment of everything that's perfect. He was killed or murdered by his brother Set. And by the way, Set is not the devil god, but it is a god we like to hate. This is the idea. We have to have the idea of the devil. And this is, by the way, much later definition by the Greeks. Sorry, my friend. The Greeks had to do always good and evil. In ancient Egypt, they were a gray area. Good and evil were two sides of the same coin. And Set, his name, by the way, means the separator. He separated his brother's body. Like when we are born, we are separated from the universe. We have to descend to this earth, take the experience, and then when we achieve our life's goal, we will ascend again. So Osiris, as you see in here, is always shown as a mummified god. He's a great god. He is this one. It's always shown mummified, blue, green, or black skin, and always, as you can see, in white linen, holding the crop and the flail and his famous crown. While when Ramesses wanted to talk about war and victory, he always talked to Amun-Ra, the king of the gods, which Thebes, Luxor, was built in his honor. So, you are coming to the temple. Who is meeting you is Amun-Ra, the king of the gods, with his two tall feathers. And here, the god hailing King Ramesses, which was in here, and he says, I have given you the mastery of all your enemies who are under your feet. You can see the two levels. So he has already given him all the enemies, everyone under his feet. While he's entering now to do the ritual, you can see he's wearing his ceremonial gown, carrying the key of life, wearing, as you can see, his kilt with the cobras and their son to protect him, received by Osiris. Osiris was considered the king Horus, his son, his hero, and he gave him all his powers and abilities. He will take him, as you can see here, shaking hands, touching the gods, and no one can touch the gods unless you are one of them, otherwise you will burn. He is one of the demigods. They are taking him, as you can see, different gods, Horus and Anu, to what we call the Set Charm, the place of secrets, where they will initiate the king and give him all the abilities of the gods and the king as Horus at the same time. Now we have earthly function and heavenly function together in this place. And here, you can see Ramesses II receiving from Horus the papyri of secrets of legitimacy to be the king, the powerful king, the connection between the heaven and earth, and they are writing his names on the tree. See the tree here? So he will be one of the immortal god kings of Egypt. And then inside you find the different rituals and customs, everything had to perform every day to keep the balance of the universe.
Helicopter.
Thanks so much, Baron. You're the man, dude. So are you, Raven, everybody. Everybody's just here, too. And, Pleasant
And then the ancient Egyptians have
I mixed pleasant and ostrich, and I said pheasant.
and of course, everyone is understanding for Jesus. But for me in Egyptology, this is very clear. It is city first inscription.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We're good. We're good to go. Let's go. Let's get it started. What time is it? 2:35. Holy.
But those happen to give us those things,
Let's go.
which one everyone tell that they are helicopters and submarines and tanks up there.
Is it called a palma set?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the words for that.
Patricia? 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 Called a palma set? Pompa set. Something like that.
God, that was annoying. Nice, feeling good, feeling good, feeling good. 135 was good, so that's good. We're going slow. We're going slow. If 135 is feeling good, then we're on good pace. We're on good pace. It improved a lot just after the first two. Now I can like actually like kind of lift again. Man, I was friggin' I was doing 115 struggling, trying to just all the ligaments. Not struggling, but you know, the ligaments and shit. I did 8-9 reps, but it's good. It's good.
Hello. Hello. So this is the Osirion. You can see the construction technique is completely different from what we saw inside in SETI the first complex. So the SETI the first complex is dynastic, and the Osirion is pre-dynastic. The large horizontal and vertical blocks, averaging probably 40 tons each, come from the Aswan Quarry, which is hundreds of miles to the south, and then the perimeter, or the courtyard area, is made up of quartzite from Cairo, which is also hundreds of miles away.
Now, I'm asking one question today. It's to do with the granite of Egypt. In Egypt there's a lot of granite. How was it cut? How is it separated from the bedrock? We'll look at what it looks like in the bedrock when we go to the unfinished obelisk. How is it carved? How is it shaped? How is it smooth? Because some of it is really spectacular when you look at the detail of it. And how is it removed from the Aswan Quarry and placed in position? We're not talking little lumps of rock here. Now, I have a rock box. This box represents 1 cubic foot. I know, because I made it. If that was granite, it would weigh the same as me, 180 pounds, thereabouts. Most stone weighs about that. If it was full of water, it would weigh just over 60 pounds. Pretty well too heavy to lift. If it's full of air, you can lift it. Now in it, my rock box, there's 3 types of stone. We need to get it sorted. This is limestone. This is from the Carrara marble quarry in Italy. This is sandstone. Now, sandstone is made basically of compressed quartz, other material, other minerals. Compressed under pressure. This is from my garden. And a piece of granite from the Gyges Plateau. And a piece of granite from Aberdeen. They come in different colours. And they're all about the same.
Feeling pretty good.
Now, this particular piece of granite has been melted. You may not think that's very strange. But anybody who's ever tried to melt granite with an oxyacetylene torch, which most people would think of as the thing, will know that it's extremely dangerous if this breaks off, because the different components of granite melt at different temperatures. This has been melted with Brown's gas. If you're not familiar with Brown's gas, check it out on the internet, but it's named after Yul Brown, who was a Hungarian who identified that electrolysis of water, which produces hydrogen and oxygen as gas, combine the two and you get Brown's gas. And it has remarkable properties. One of them is the neutralization of nucleic acids. But we're not getting into that now. We're going to go to Egypt. See what happens when we go to Egypt. The pyramids. Most people are familiar with the pyramids. Most people are familiar with what basically ancient Egypt looks like. The tourist version of Egypt. It was nice to see what it looks like. And it's worth going to Egypt to see some of the really quite remarkable edifices. Now the pyramids themselves are worth looking at, if only because for something that not many people are actually aware of. You look at the aerial photograph of the pyramids, which was taken by the Gyges satellite, and you think, okay, yeah, that's an interesting picture. It shows them in that famous formation which appears to replicate Orion's belt. But other than that, look at the Great Pyramid, which is the one at the top. The Great Pyramid appears to have something down the centre of each face. It looks like a line. You can't see it when you're there, unless you know what to look for. But each of those faces of the Great Pyramid, and no other pyramid, the Great Pyramid is concave. If you took a straight line across the base, which is about 750 foot across, there's a concave face on each of them. It's out of the straight line by about 4 feet. Now I was aware of this and I thought, I wonder if it's possible to see it. Because it was first identified back in 1935 when an aerial photograph was taken quite accidentally of the pyramids and it showed the concave face there. And I thought, I wonder if it's possible to see it. And it is. I happened to be there in March, and at 6 o'clock in the evening the sun is to the west, setting in the west, which is on the right hand side of the picture, shining across the face of the Great Pyramid. And the left hand face of the Great Pyramid is illuminated, the right hand face isn't, which indicates that there is something about the construction of the Great Pyramid which is really quite remarkable. How was that achieved? Because it was certainly there. So that's the first indication that these guys in Egypt knew about their technology. They knew what to do. They knew how to make things.
I feel so good after doing these sits.
Really very sophisticated. Right, inside the King's Chamber, we have the indication as to how it's built, the difference between the granite and the limestone. And the famous sarcophagus, as it's called, which indicates it was used to bury somebody. There's no evidence of that. And that's what we're looking at today, evidence. the sarcophagus, the box, is hollow. It's hollow. And if you care to measure the surfaces, both at the inside and the outside of this box, they are perfectly parallel to each other. They are completely flat, in that they are what would be described as optically flat. It's one piece of granite. As you could do the calculation, you can find out that it weighs about 4 tons, 4.5 tons. Around it, in the room, which is quite a big room, the King's Chamber, is lined with granite, and above it are 5 layers of granite beams, which weigh about 70 tons each. There's 45 of them. Now, bear in mind, this is all 150 foot above ground level. So you'll have to work out how you get a 70-ton block of granite 150 foot into the air. It's about just a bit shorter than the height of Nelson's column. It's an indication of its position. And a lot of people will say, oh, it can't be done. We don't have cranes even today that can lift that. Well, actually, we do have cranes that could do that. It would take about 8 days to erect the crane in position, but it couldn't move, but it could lift. The modern cranes can lift up to 3,000 tons. So you go onto a website and search for massive cranes, and you find them all. Some of them are mobile, but they're not mobile while they're working. They're mobile shifting from side to side. So in the King's Chamber, we have the first evidence of some pretty advanced technology. Why is a box, which incidentally was too big to go through the only entrance into the King's Chamber, too big by about an inch? So it had to be placed in there before the pyramid was completed. Otherwise you couldn't get it in. Why? What's going on? It's a real mystery as to what the Egyptians were trying to achieve. We don't know. They didn't leave any record as to what they were doing. They probably thought it was so easy to do and common and they didn't bother to write about it. Outside the pyramids you have the Sphinx, worth going to. If you can get into the Sphinx enclosure, it's worth a visit because around the edge of the Sphinx enclosure are the famous water-eroded sites, which indicate the age of the Sphinx, being much older than we're told it is, 2,500 years, 4,500 years old, 2,500 BC or thereabouts. The ages I'm not really too concerned about. The pharaohs I'm not really too concerned about because that's not what we're here to do. In order to make the Sphinx enclosure, just to go back, the Sphinx is below existing ground level. You see around those sides, which appear to be eroded by water. That erosion doesn't occur through wind erosion, and it's quite big. So when they hollowed out the Sphinx enclosure, where did they put the bits that they dug out? They put them up, called the Valley Temple, which is just next door to the Sphinx. If you look at the face of the Sphinx, it's to the left. There are 2 temples. One is called the Valley Temple, the other is called the Sphinx Temple. And very, very few people have been into the Sphinx Temple that went directly in front of it, because everything was there. It was under sand till about 700 years ago. The Valley Temple, this is the outside of the Valley Temple. The inside of the Valley Temple is lined with granite. You see at the top left, the outside walls of limestone, the inside is granite. And some of the granite stones are not just blocks of granite, they have been carved into L shapes. The top centre is an L shape. And on the right hand side, something even more remarkable. The granite has been carved around contours of the limestone blocks, which makes no sense whatsoever, but it's true. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I looked at it and I thought, why do you carve granite around limestone? Why don't you just cut the limestone? That's the easy thing, because limestone is very easy to cut. Granite is actually hard, it's not stubborn. But in Egypt, it was obviously a simple rope here. You cut round. Outside, this one standing up, is this strange piece of granite. It's just lying on the ground, as if nobody knew what it was, nobody knew what to do with it, but it's sitting there, a piece of granite, which is two compound curves, about 3 foot high. I suspect it was those drifting a coping stone from the top and it just fell off one day. But close to it is another piece, even more remarkable. How was this? Oh, this is granite, one of the hardest materials now, which is why we make curbstones out of it, why we make cobblestones out of granite, because they're hard wearing, tough to cut. Nowadays we cut it with diamond-tipped drills and tungsten chisels, but in Egypt we didn't have those. So how was this piece carved? It's almost as if it was carved on a lathe, because that curve has been measured. It's totally uniform across its length. This is one of the major mysteries which is never addressed by modern Egyptologists who insist that what we show a little later how modern Egyptologists insist the granite was cut. Okay, let's go and have a look at where the granite comes from, which is down at Aswan, 500 miles south of Giza. And when you get to Aswan, you have a nice go on the river in the Felica, very nice, that other way is Duncan Roads, who's the editor of Nexus. And you come to the unfinished obelisk at Aswan. Just over 40 metres long, roughly 20 foot long. And it's a massive lump of rock. It's still attached to the bedrock. All sorts of reasons have been offered as to why it's still attached to the bedrock. A weak split, I couldn't find a split on it. Not that there's would damage it to that extent. But it is very, very large. And it sits there inside the trench that has been cut around it. Now, if you're going to Egypt, do go to Aswan, because it is really one of the more mysterious places you'll visit. There are more mysterious places, but this is where it all begins. And I was first aware of a problem when I looked specifically at these marks at the bottom of the unfinished obelisk. They look like scoop marks. They look like somebody's now? We're back on circuit. Thanks, guys. Right. These scoop marks, when you start to look for them, appear everywhere. Top left picture shows those same scoop marks I identified earlier. And then you start looking at all sorts of other, and the same thing. They're all pretty uniform. About 6 inches square in the bottom left-hand corner. But then on the right, we see the incontrovertible evidence of a piece of granite that has been removed from the quarry. And it has been undercut so that there is a short line of granite still attaching it to the bedrock. And the obvious way to remove it is just to hit it hard enough so that it breaks off. Granite is quite brittle, you can fracture quite well. But what are the marks up to? What are these scoop marks? Where did they all come from? What created them? What caused them? And then you look at the unfinished obelisk itself. The top left picture indicates the depth of this trench around it.
Alright, I gotta go. So I'm gonna do maybe 2 more bench press sets and 1 more bicep curls, and then I gotta go. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Baron, for the sub, dude. Thanks, Rev. Thanks, Pleasant Officers. Thanks, everybody. Oh, my neck's so itchy. Alright. Man, those V sits made me feel really good, though, and this bench press, too. All good? Yo, thanks, man. Yo, dude, this bench press is making me feel good, man. I'm feeling it in my soul again. Jesus.
This is the explanation offered by Egyptologists as to how these things were carved. All granite was carved by pounding diorite balls. And on the right-hand side, we have a gentleman pounding his diorite ball, demonstrating how it's done. go with that, which you can probably go at, it just seems so unlikely that the evidence we see was created by such a crude method. We just wouldn't do it. Because not only would it not have the obelisk itself, it would hardly touch or create hieroglyphs.
Feeling good.
Statues.
You do lithium and lazy lately? That's okay, man.
Across the world.
I highly recommend him, man.
This one
You'll
is
feel
a
good,
much-
man. You'll feel good. You'll feel good.
This is one of the most remarkable pieces of granite carving I've ever seen. You look at the quality and sheer delicacy of those features. Doesn't matter who it represents at this stage. But that piece of granite itself would be quite heavy. Not something easily manipulated. The quality of the carving is as good as any modern sculptor could possibly achieve in limestone, let alone in granite. In basalt, which is another volcanic extrusion, we get the same quality of carving. These are life-size images, as is the famous statue of allegedly Pharaoh Catherine being protected by Horus. That is about 8 foot high, bigger than life-size, that statue. And then in the Cairo Museum, again, we get one of the most remarkable sculptures I've ever seen. Creating an animal-human hybrid and making it not only realistic, but totally believable, takes a skill that I don't think we have today. Could any sculptor today recreate these type of sculptures? Because these are bigger than life-size themselves. I don't know. It would be great to find out. I have a friend who's a sculptor. I asked him, I wouldn't do that. What a stupid idea. You know, one wrong chisel blow and you've shattered the whole thing. You got to start all over again. Where do you get this plan? It must have weighed about 10 tons to start with. How do you move it? Well, obviously they moved it because they created it. And in the centerpiece of the Cairo Museum is this capstone. Or could be a Ben stone, depends what it's supposed to go on top of a pyramid.
This thing is always so good for the heart. I feel it in my heart. Heart's beating heavy. It's good. It's nice. In a good way.
If you look at the detail of it,
Not heavy, but like intensely. Like in a good way.
how do you achieve that level of quality, consistency, and accuracy with a deer like gold? I don't think you do. Something else must have been used. We'll come to what I think it might have been just a little bit later. But first of all, obviously, if you're in the Cairo Museum, you have to visit Tutankhamun, his famous mask. It's a very beautiful object, worth seeing. We've all seen the front of it, so not many people have ever seen the back of it. This is the back of it. It always attracts a big crowd. It's worth going to see. And then tucked away in a corner, you get these weird things. You know what they are? They're boomerangs. By the way, the chap there is David Hatchett-Childress. Ever met him? He was a great explorer. And he said, I'm going to stand in front of that. I want people to see me in boomerangs. But these are in the Cairo Museum. Most of them were taken out of Tutankhamen's tomb. Well, he died about 1300 BC or about 1200 BC. A long time ago. So how did the boomerangs get there?
Oh, we didn't even do exercise.
Boomerangs with Australia. How the Egyptians went there?
No exercise bike. That's fine. I gotta go. Thanks for being here. You guys rule. Baron, thanks for the sub, man. 13 months. Sick, buddy. And Rev too, sub previous month or whatever, or like a few weeks ago or whatever. A few days ago. You guys rule. Have a good one later, yo. Thanks, guys. Peace. Let's see if we're gonna read somebody.
So the idea that the Egyptians couldn't travel long distances across sea. In fact,
No, I'm just gonna sign off.
by sea from
Alright, you guys rule. Have a good one, you too, man.
stretch of unbroken water being crossed.
Rev, start lifting. You'll feel good, man, again. Let's flex.
Anyway, we need to move on.
Is it bigger? I don't know.
Yeah, and great place to visit. That's from the top right is Hatshepsut's temple. They have the
Pretty good, pretty good. All right, peace out. See ya.
Years ago,
Thanks, guys.
which feels